Okay, BookTube. I'm gonna get back to that bookshelf tour I started last week, and then my phone died. So I'm gonna record it on my laptop. And I was laying on my face, so my beard's all messy. Okay, so this is mainly a movie shelf. So the first one here, most of these we've seen. We Belong Dead, Frankenstein on Film, edited by Gary and Susan Chevla. Bunch of great stuff. It goes over, lighting's pretty bad, sorry. A bunch of different Frankenstein movies. Has essays by people. Young Frankenstein's in there. Just a really fun book. Oh, playing with power, baby. This is like all of the Nintendo Power articles and stuff from games that were made by Nintendo, not by third parties. So, look at all that fun Zelda stuff. Just awesome if you're a big Nintendo fan. Wes Craven's Last House on the Left, making of a cult classic by David Shulskin. This is one of my favorite movies. It was Wes Craven's first film. It was kind of like a trash 70s kind of movie, really violent. It was based on the Virgin Spring, for those of you in the know. So it's just like a bunch of notes about the marketing, about the making of, the movies that came out, trying to cash in on it. There's the main baddies. So that's just a really fun book. I love that movie. Monster Madness. God, the lighting is awful. This is a coffee table book of big ass monsters. Look at that pop art looking Godzilla bit. Let's see here. There's the Wolfman. Got some King Kong. Lighting is awful, so I'm going to have to come up with a better way of doing this. Alright, let me show you some of the little things I have here. I have a Wolfman bust. Lon Chaney Jr., 1941. Yeah. And I have a Dracula bust, Bela Lugosi, 1931. And I also have the Frankenstein one, but that's on my desk. I got those with the Universal Monsters DVD set. I can't remember what it was called now, but it was like you had 3 DVD boxes that had all of the movies from all of them. That's like a huge thing for me. The Golden Age of B movies, right here. Got Ronald Reagan right there, I believe. Let me see what else we got here. And this isn't just horror. This is like, let me see. The Body Disappears. The Face Behind the Mask. Whistling in the Dark. Sis Hopkins. The Pearl of Death. Boston Blackie. Give Out Sisters. Black Gold. It's got all sorts of different genres of B movies, and it was just like the low budget stuff that would play before the main feature. So that's a really fun book if you are into movies like that, which I am. Let's see what else we got here. Grindhouse. This is the big picture book that goes through everything of the movie. Editing. Let me see, how do I do this? This is a horrible place for the light. There's some shooting, you know. It's just like a really nice book. It looks good. And if you weren't around or paying attention when around the time this came out, when this movie was announced, so many amazing old like drive-in or 42nd Street type movies that hadn't seen the light of day in like 25 years were suddenly popping up in like a bunch of collections. Like you could get like a 50 movie DVD set, just like all sorts of amazing, just trash and awesome stuff. So whatever you think about this movie, if it wasn't for this movie, a lot of awesome stuff would still be out of print. So, that's pretty cool for me. This has concept art, storyboards, over 400 photos, screenplays, interviews, a history of grindhouse cinema, poster art, and much more. So yeah, this is fun. I liked Planet Terror a lot more than I liked Death Proof, but yeah, it is what it is. Let's see what's next here. We got also from Fab Press. I used to get a ton of Fab Press books. We have Agitator, The Cinema of Takashi Miike by Tom Mess. Now, Takashi Miike is one of my favorite filmmakers. This picture here is from a movie called Audition. What do we got on the back here? On the back we got stuff from like Itchy the Killer and let me see. I think that's Gozu. I don't know what that one is. But it just kind of goes through all his stuff, like the Dead or Alive movies. God, he's made so many. Sorry, I'm just looking at... The Dead or Alive trilogy is really fun. What are some of... Oh, Visitor Q. That's like one of my favorite movies. This isn't very exciting watching me. The Way to Fight from 1996. He was one of the first people to kind of... What's the word I'm looking for here? Embrace the whole SD cinema world. Like a lot of especially in America, like the only movies you would see shot on SD were direct to video shit shows from like really low brow distributors and stuff like that. Most of them aren't even in business anymore. But in Japan, it wasn't frowned upon as much at all. And he was making like movie after movie. Like I don't want to put numbers out there, but he was making a handful of movies every year, and he would do horror. He would do Yakuza stuff. He's done children's stuff. Um, he's done family dramas. He's done everything. He did a TV show over there called MPD Psycho, which is amazing. It's based on a manga or a manga. So anyway, moving right along. So that's just a really good book. Again, essays on his work and stuff. Let me see if I can get this one out yet. Okay. This bad Mother Hubbard. Okay, this is called Stephen Romero's Shock Festival. 101 of the strangest, sleaziest, most outrageous movies you've never seen. Okay? So, when this first came out, IDW put this out. But when this first came out, I was like, what? Like, I'm gonna find out about movies that are like so outrageous that haven't come out in like years and all this other stuff. So they go over all these directors, all these actors. You got like posters. You got like Bad Kitty 69 is one of the movies, and it talks about the making of it and all this other stuff. What's this one called? Breaking in the New Chick, all this other stuff. The thing is that none of this is real. This is all fake. Perfect Kathy 2000. It's just a book of like movies this guy made up, went and did photo shoots for directors and actors that he gave, but that weren't real directors or actors, just models or friends of his, and took all these like behind the scenes pictures and stuff. And it's just one of the funnest ideas. It's awesome. Like, it's just a lot of fun. So if you ever see that, they did like a kind of shitty DVD of like trailers for all the movies. It wasn't bad, but I think the book's a lot more fun. So there's that. Okay, now this bad boy. I have like 3 or 4 copies of this book throughout the world. Crystal Lake Memories: The Complete History of Friday the 13th. This book is epic. This is the book that kind of made the whole Crystal Lake Memories DVD or like documentary come out. When they re-released all of the movies on DVD, they had a bunch of stuff inspired from this and the behind the scenes features. But like it is basically the story of Friday the 13th, from all the movies to... Oh, I'm so sorry, the lighting is so shit. It's just... As you can see, I'm very awkward with hardcover books. I don't know what I'm doing. But yeah, this is just... If you are a fan of Friday the 13th, you need to have this book. And I'm sure you can find it now really cheap. Like on eBay and stuff. So since we're talking about that, this is another book from Fab Press, The Making of Friday the 13th. And I believe this is just the first... No, that's part 2. And that's Jason Goes to Hell. Yeah, so this is just like a making of all the movies. This is like... I actually really liked this book a lot, but this came out before Crystal Lake Memories came out. This is more of a... what happened during the making of the movies, blah, 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 blah. Crystal Lake Memories is like interviewing every fucking person that ever breathed oxygen. about the movies. So both of these books are great. Let's see. Yeah. Ooh. This is Lon Chaney as Dracula, Nosferatu, A Symphony of Horror in 1922. And you're like, what? Let me tell you. This contains F.W. Murnau's script for Nosferatu from 1922, and also a title list for the silent version of Dracula in 1931. Um, so basically, okay, this says, what if Boris Karloff portrayed the Wolfman and the Invisible Man? What if Lon Chaney portrayed Count Dracula or the Man That Laughs? Or if Lon Chaney Jr. was in the first Technicolor monster film? What if Bela Lugosi starred in Frankenstein as the doctor or the monster in Wolfman vs. Dracula? Or James Whale's Dracula's daughter? Now, through discovery of these legendary film scripts, you have your answers. Let's see. Let's hope the rare scripts find their proper place in history books. I don't know where Phil Riley finds all these lost treasures, but it was all my idea and he stole it from me. Robert Bloch. Okay, so what you got here is basically the scripts to Nosferatu and the script for Dracula when Lon Chaney was supposed to play Dracula. He died, obviously, before they were able to shoot that. So they went with Bela Lugosi instead. And the rest is history. So, like, here's the first treatment of Dracula by Louis Bromfield from 1930. So just, like, fun little stuff like that. Let's see. I have this Midnight Marquee Actor Series, Bela Lugosi. It's like a biography of Bela Lugosi. Awesome. I've used that for so much stuff. Notes and such. What's this? Oh, this is the Famous Monsters Gallery. Where did I get this? Oh, yeah. I met someone from who worked there, and they gave me a few cool little things from the magazine. So that's pretty cool. Real quick. Alright, I was just making sure I wasn't being called. This is sorry. This is a book that is a must-have for anyone who likes slasher movies. This is by J.A. Kurzweil, Teenage Wasteland, the slasher movie uncut. This is the European version because the American version is called something stupid like the slasher movie book or something fucking ridiculous like that. But the guy who wrote this book has a podcast called The Hysteria Continues, which is great. He has a website called The Hysteria Lives. But this basically goes through, like, in the bloody beginnings, you got, like, the stuff from the 60s, like Psycho. But it basically takes you through, like, 1978, probably, through 83 or 86. 'Through 83 was, like, the big heyday. Some might even say 82, but like they were still doing that till 86. Okay. I'm getting kind of long here. That's what he said. So, Um, this is the Universal Studios Monsters: A Legacy of Horror by Michael Mallory. Amazing, another coffee table book about the Universal monsters who, besides He-Man, were like my homies growing up. Just look at the end pages on that. Yeah. It's just an awesome book. If you like the Universal monsters, that is probably one of the best books. Unless you find a book by David J. Schall, and then get that because he's amazing. So I just got a couple more here. Horror and Fantasy in the Movies by Tom Hutchinson with a foreword by Vincent Price. This thing has seen better days. The Munsters, A Trip Down Mockingbird Lane, with a foreword by Yvonne DiCarlo and an afterword by Butch Patrick. Get the fuck out of here. But it has a bunch of silly things like their favorite dishes, what they do in their spare time. But it also has like behind the scenes stuff and how they created the show and all sorts of fun stuff. So if you like the Munsters. And last book, Portable Grindhouse, The Lost Art of the VHS Box. That's my favorite part of this book. It comes out like a videotape. And this is just, it has an amazing introduction by the guy who compiled this. And then it's just box art, front and back. Shit, I don't know which way to turn. I really shouldn't have put the light there. Now that I'm thinking about it, it's like, wow, all of these books have pictures that I want to show. And I put the light over there. So anyway, sorry for the god-awful lighting, but that was the second shelf of the IKEA Skinny Bookcase 1. Okay, so take care, everybody.